All right, guys. Cheers, Copper Cutlass. Our racing season is officially over. Points racing, at least. We went out today, made one time run, and we got rained out. That's it. They pulled it. They called it. We're done. There's no rescheduling. It's the end of the season. Typically, the bracket races don't get rescheduled. So if you accumulated any points in the time, you do. But chances are, the program that our track runs, so they do Super Pro, Box No Box, Top Sportsman, Midwest Index. Usually those races don't get rescheduled. The big events they sometimes do, but they don't typically reschedule stuff. So either way, our season's over. We finished 17th overall, I believe, unless there was any changes, but I believe that I ended up finishing 17th overall. I missed 2 races. In the last race where we raced well into the night, or after we lost daylight, the car was right. I was focused. I was doing pretty good. And after 2 rounds, they said, we're out of daylight. You guys are done. So I didn't get a chance to go any further. But it is what it is. So, hey, Finnegan. So either way, I look forward to next year. I'm going to run the same class. If everything's still good on the car, I'm going to run the car as this next year with the exception of doing the intake gaskets. I have a transmission leak I have to fix, nothing major. I'm going to add an oil cooler. And really, and there's a surprise. I shouldn't talk about this just yet, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. I hope JJ doesn't kick me in the balls for it, but he wants to upgrade his rear end to a Ford, like a Fab 9 for his 71 Supreme. I mean, he's been hitting this car with maybe about, I think, roughly about 650, 670 horse with a trans brake, and he's been running an 8.5 for years. And I've been wanting to do like a 430 gear, which that already has, so you guys can put 2 and 2 together. I told him, I'll buy what you got, get your Fab 9, I save a little bit of money, and he gets to cover a big chunk of his differential that he wants. So again, this is where, having good friends and seeing the opportunity where everybody can help each other out, I think is beneficial. I hope JJ or anybody that I've ever dealt with doesn't see that as being opportunistic. I just see it as, he had mentioned before going to a Ford 9 when I was talking about the S60. And in retrospect, I don't need the S60, but his 8.5 is set up with Mosier Engineering, axles, spool. He's been hitting it with a trans brake for God knows how long, and everything's held up great. There is no way I can blow up that diff behind my car. Not with a small block, not without a trans brake. So I saw it fit to strike up that deal, and we are on par to do that sometime early after the beginning of the year. That's way up there though. So let's talk about a couple things. Racing season's over. We're gonna go out one more time and try to get an 1150. The fastest the car has ran since our 1160 was 1190, and it was pretty shitty out. So again, taking advantage of good weather is all part of a key element, and people call it cheating, but all the professional pro stock guys, when they wanted to set records, they went out, and when the race was at the Nationals, because if you set records, you had to do it at a national event. When the temperature was right and the conditions were right, of course they were going to set records. So it's all fair game in my opinion. So I'm trying to pick a good night to go to the Grove and click off some good times, and we have one shot, and that might be this Thursday or in 3 weeks, like the first weekend of November. Might be. Those are the only 2 weekends that could work for me to possibly go out for some time runs. And if I wait beyond this week, it will not be at the Grove. We would have to go at my track where I run points at. So either way, small block stuff, we're moving on it. So I actually met up with JJ on Saturday. His wife has a cool Oldsmobile hearse, and she does all the hearse car meets and stuff. And we met up. And we have this Lunati solid roller cam. And let me refresh your memory. This is the same camshaft that we had in Project Enron. Give you guys the shaft. Oh. So either way, this is the same camshaft that we ran in Project Enron. So I got the lifters, the camshaft, the thrust button, the thrust washer, and this is what's going to go in this engine. Now, mistake number one. I fucked up on my numbers, and I thought that these cylinder heads were closer to 70 cc's. They're actually closer to 75. But this camshaft will work with 9.5 to 1 compression. We have 9.5 to 1 compression. But I don't think that we're going to kill any performance, to be honest with you guys. I know with the roller camshafts, the specs are usually a little bit bigger because you're losing some of that friction for the lift. So usually most roller camshafts, the numbers tend to be bigger to make them efficient, I guess. Somebody else can chime in on that. But either way, solid roller. We're still going to stick with the Victor. I did consult with a friend of mine about this, and he said, you will be fine with this camshaft. This is supposed to be installed on a 106. He told me, shoot for 104, 105, ideally 105, and you'll be good with 9.5 to 1 compression. He said, use the Victor. That camshaft will favor the Victor. Again, I consult guys, and this is where I get knowledge. When I have questions, I have good people in my corner, and I learn. So, we're going to end up with about 9.5 to 1 compression, which is great, because I thought about going to E85 when I thought it was going to be 10.5 to 1. One less cost. We could still run 93. So, I'm thinking that in the next couple of weeks between house projects, I'll be able to come out here and work on this. I do need a dedicated night to prep and wash the block, and from there assembly can get trickled out. So I'm thinking I might do a video on like a Friday night and wash the block out with compressed air and soapy water. So I'm thinking that in the next couple of weeks we should see a little bit more progress on this. And as far as my racing season goes, it's over, it's done. So this is just a quick little update, letting you guys know what's going on. And I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Do me a favor, share, like, subscribe. If you're on Facebook, because I don't share my content. So if you guys want to share it, go out there, share it. If you think this is interesting enough, if you think this is just catastrophic enough to the point where you want to fucking share it, because, you know, everybody wants to see failure. I don't think I've delivered any failure much, so, I mean, I hope it fucking blows up. It's an excuse to build something new. So either way, share, like, subscribe. If you want to follow me on Instagram, Copper Cutlass. My wife is looking at me because she's like, you're taking way too fucking long. So it's about the time where I have to cut it short. So either way, guys, racing season over. On this, house projects, my goal is that sometime in November we'll be able to throw this in the run stand. And again, share, like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, Copper Cutlass. See you guys later.